Welcome to the Hindu View. How is Hinduism different from all other religions? This is a question that even practicing Hindus don't have a clear understanding about. Some point to its ancient origin, some point to its pantheism, some point to its focus on the inner self, meditative practices, etc., and some even to its myriad colorful festivals. But these are all very superficial aspects of Hinduism, and in no way does it represent the unique value that Hinduism offers to humanity. When we try to understand any religion, we should not focus on its rituals and practices. These are temporal, they change with time, and they are also very topical. They change with the geography, they change with location, even in the same time period. What we need to focus on when understanding a religion is its foundational idea, the concept of God and God's relationship to human beings. This is the founding idea of any religion, and understanding this will give us a very solid understanding of what this religion is all about. The rest of the religion is always built on this founding idea about God and God's relationship with human beings. So let's take a look at this founding idea across different religions. Let's take be it Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, or folk religions, Chinese folk religion, African folk religion, or any of the non-Hindu religions. The These religions are built on three founding ideas. The first founding idea is the presence of an all-powerful, sentient God. It's important to understand this. It's an all-powerful, which means there is nothing beyond this concept of God. This God can do anything and everything, nothing beyond this God. And this God is sentient. What is sentient? Sentient means that this God has feelings, sentiments, and emotions similar to human beings. So, this is the first founding idea of all non-Hindu religions, all-powerful, sentient God. The second founding idea is that there are immutable God-given laws. So this powerful sentient God, or I should say all-powerful sentient God, has provided human beings with a set of laws, rules about how to lead life. These laws are either revealed directly by God or through a messenger, a messiah. And these laws cover many aspects of human life, starting from what to eat, what not to eat, the duties of a spouse, how to pray. A lot of this is covered by these immutable God given laws. These are laws that are given by God and they will not change because it comes from God, either directly or through a Messiah. So, this is the founding second principle or second idea for all non Hindu religions. The third founding idea is that rewards and punishment are based on God's discretion. So, this all powerful sentient God reviews our behavior, and if it is something that pleases God, we are rewarded, and if it is something that displeases Him, we are punished. Usually, it is in close relationship to the laws that God has given, the immutable laws that we talked about. Even if we don't follow these immutable laws, we still have a chance to please God by praising God and by acknowledging God's superiority and praying to Him. And at the same time, if we do something that displeases God, okay, it could be as good as like scolding God, blasphemy, okay, or denying the existence of God. That will be punished by this God. So these are the three founding ideas of all non-Hindu religions. Does this concept sound familiar to you, these three founding ideas? A very powerful person lays down laws for us, and rewards and punishment is based on this powerful person's discretion. This is the same concept of power, the same power equation that we see in our day-to-day lives. Starting from our childhood to death, this is the same power equation that is all around us. The power equation between a father and a child, between a teacher and a student, between an employer and an employee, between the government or the king and a subject or a citizen. So all non-Hindu religions take this power equation that is seen in the natural world, not just among human beings, it's also seen among animals, with one very powerful alpha, and the alpha laying down the rules and punishing or rewarding others in his group, okay, based on following rules or being pleased or displeased. So all non-Hindu religions take this power equation that we see around us and extrapolate it to the concept of God. This is the construct of a very primitive and feudal mind. So God is just an exaggeration of a father, of a king, and many religions even call the God as father, as king, as shepherd, etc. How is Hinduism different? Is it different at all? Does it not rely on this same power equation, these three same founding ideas? The answer is no. Let's explore, let's examine these three founding ideas and see whether Hinduism also rests on these founding ideas. The first founding idea, an all-powerful sentient God, does not exist in Hinduism. There is a supreme God. There is a supreme God, what they term it as the Para-Brahman. Para is like ultimate, supreme, and Brahman is creator. So there's someone like a supreme creator. But the difference is that this supreme creator is not sentient. The emotions, sentiments that human beings have is not something that can be attributed to this supreme creator. This is the first difference in founding idea for Hinduism. There is no all-powerful sentient God. And this has far-reaching implications for everything else in Hinduism. The absence of a all-powerful sentient God. The second idea of God-given immutable laws also doesn't exist in Hinduism. Now you might be wondering, hey, Hinduism is full of laws, rituals, do this, do that. In fact, so many laws are there in Hinduism. But you will find that none of these are God-given laws. This Parabrahman, the Supreme God, never gives out any laws. It does not give out any law concerning what I should eat, what I should wear, whether I should marry, not marry, what is the duty of a husband or a wife. None of this is given by the Supreme God. It is given only by the intellectuals of every age, and therefore it is mutable. For every age, every place, intellectuals, leaders, intellectual leaders of that age and place derive laws from first principles that are provided by Hinduism. So it's a very, very mature outlook that understands that human civilization will evolve. And even the same time period in different geographies, the conditions will be different, and therefore the same rules and laws cannot apply everywhere. So what Hinduism does is it focuses only on aspects that are eternal, timeless, and unchanging. And that's why Hinduism itself is a name that's given by outsiders. Hinduism is called the Sanatana Dharma. So ancient Hindus did not call themselves as, hey, we are Hindus. Okay, they called their religion as the Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma essentially means eternal rules or eternal laws or eternal philosophy. So Hinduism focuses only on things that are timeless and eternal, and the rest of it, which is the micromanagement of human life, is left to the intellectual leaders of that age, and they derive it based on first principles that is given by the religion. This is the second difference, the absence of God given immutable laws. The third founding idea, which is rewards and punishment based on pleasing or displeasing this all powerful God, also does not exist. Given that the Hindu concept of God is non-sentient, this supreme God is non-sentient, and therefore this supreme God cannot be pleased or displeased with anything that you or I do. And therefore, the Supreme God will never reward or punish based on being pleased or displeased. Instead, what Hinduism provides us is with this concept of karma. Karma is a very popular word, but the nuances and the fundamental understanding of karma is missing. We will probably discuss about karma in a lot more depth in a different session. But today, let me give a very quick, simplified definition of karma. Karma, you can think of it as the law of logical consequences. Karma is about doing an action and having to face consequences for it. And God, this supreme God, will never interfere in these logical consequences, irrespective of how much you pray to this God, irrespective of whether you don't pray to this God, you will have the logical consequences. So, let me give you an analogy. The way that Hinduism looks at rewards, punishment for anything that we do is in terms of, think of a father and a child. Now, the child is eating a lot of sweets. Now, this father is not going to be pleased or displeased with the child eating or not eating a sweet. But the child is going to suffer the consequences of eating a lot of sweets. It could be obesity, it could be tooth decay. And this father, though he is not pleased nor displeased, irrespective of how much the child pleads with the father, prays to the father, he's not going to come and stop it and say, okay, even though you've eaten a lot of sweets, here you go, you're not going to have tooth decay, you're not going to become obese. And the reverse is also true. Let's say the child restricts its sugar intake, and it does not respect the father. It does not mean that the father now says, okay, you did not respect me, here you go. You have tooth decay. You become obese. No. Father does not interfere in the logical consequences that the child has to face. So this is the third difference in the founding idea for Hinduism. Power-based templates are the default in this world. You will find them everywhere in this world, not just in the human world, even in the animal world. And taking a power-based template and applying it to God is just the imagination of a very primitive and a feudal mind. A power-based religion is a primitive mind's extrapolation of the concept of feudalism to God. Feudalism is by definition constraining. How can a religion that is built on a power structure of feudalism help elevate and liberate ourselves spiritually? Hinduism, on the other hand, upends this structure, upends this concept, and focuses on individual empowerment, on justice, and on logic. Every individual has full control on their path and their progress in Hinduism. It is not at the whims of a god or even a priest. In Hinduism, the focus is on individual action, individual decisions. Instead of treating people like infants, toddlers, or like sheep, Hinduism empowers individuals to take actions based on their discretion. It provides people with first principles and then tells them it's now your choice. And in this aspect, it shows the primacy of free will. We will discuss more about Hinduism and free will another day. That is again by itself a very, very interesting concept that Hinduism brings in. It beautifully resolves the conflict of free will and destiny. We will discuss about that another day. But this focus on individual empowerment, logic, and justice is what makes Hinduism foundationally different from all other religions, and therefore makes it worthwhile for anyone. Whether you are a born Hindu, a practicing Hindu, you are an atheist, or you are from a different religion, this foundational difference in focus, in concept of God and God's relationship to man is what makes Hinduism very valuable for all of us to understand and explore. Thank you for joining me today on the Hindu View. We will meet again soon in another episode. Thank you.